Greetings, history lovers, the historically minded. Welcome to History Changes. I'm Dr. Philip W. Travis, historian, professor of history. On this channel, you find a myriad of historical content. There are lectures from myself. There are on-site video blogs, if you will, travel videos, if you will, from historical locations from around the world that I've created. There's documentary films. There's even podcasts. And I'm actually creating a podcast right now titled Breaking the Social Contract. The introduction of that has recently been posted, and I hope that you'll follow that in the months ahead as we examine the history of some really profound changes in the American political landscape. This particular part of the video is devoted to a series of lectures that were presented in 1989, produced in 1989 at UCLA, and these are from The Western Tradition, from Eugen Weber. This is a really important series of lectures and a publication, and to the topic of this channel, History Changes, it's actually quite relevant. The Western tradition focuses on the origin of Western civilization, from the Mesopotamian roots with the Sumerians through present. And in this case, present, of course, was 1989, so quite some time ago. However, and the content in this is phenomenal. Weber really provides not only profound insights, but provides really a detailed look at what we know from history from the ancient world through into the modern world, with an incredible attention to detail, an attention to detail that, frankly, I don't think you find that often. And of course, for 1989, it's produced quite well. It comes not only with the sort of soothing voice of Eugen Weber, a famous historian who's now passed, but also a myriad of really excellent sort of primary source imagery that I think really enhances. Even if it comes off a little bit retro, even if it comes off a little bit dated, it really enhances our understanding of this subject. Now, interestingly, again, to the topic of this channel, History Changes. Interestingly, Weber is presenting this work in a period of time where actually the focus on Western history was increasingly coming under some criticism in historical schools. In the 90s and certainly well into the 2000s, we witnessed the emergence of world history. And in many respects, world history challenged sort of Western-focused history, arguing that effectively Western history was biased against many of the inherent developments and important contributions of other parts of the world. It should be noted, this does not mean you should look at this and be like, oh, this is biased history. You need both, right? There is a place for Western history. There is a place for studying the emergence of Westernism. There's a place for a conversation about what does Westernism even mean? Like, what does that even mean? Okay. But there's also a place for world history, and that's why if you were to take an undergraduate course, say, in the 1980s, you would almost certainly take an undergraduate course, your introductory course would almost certainly be in Western civilization. If you take an undergraduate course at a university today, there are still Western civilization courses. I teach Western civilization courses. However, you'd be much more likely at universities to find an emphasis on world history courses at the introductory level. And this is part of the reason because historians analyzing, understanding the past, new scholarship, new research, new interpretation, history changes. And that was just in the same sense with critiques about the focus on Westernism. So Eugen Weber, please enjoy this documentary film. The content is exceptional. I hope that doesn't make you think that you should think any less of this. The content is exceptional. It's a really important contribution. If you're interested in things like medieval Europe, The coverage of this from Weber is exceptional. So I hope you enjoy this. And in the background, maybe think about, when you take a world history course, maybe think about the historical debate, if you wish, that occurred in the period really from the 1990s to present. This pushback between how much should we be teaching Western history, how much should we be teaching world history. So I hope you enjoy the Western tradition from Eugen Weber. I will get as many of these up as I possibly can. I imagine you can probably hear my dogs barking in the background. They are playing. The super mic picks up a lot here, my microphone. So, but I hope you enjoy this, the Western tradition from Eugen Weber.